Trusting the wrong person can ruin your life, no exaggeration. We're talking about backstabbers, manipulators, and fake friends, the kind of people who smile in your face while plotting behind your back. Today, I'm exposing the types of people you should never trust, no matter what. Some of these will shock you, some might make you uncomfortable, and some, well, you might just realize you have one sitting next to you right now. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly who to keep at arm's length, or better yet, cut off completely. Let's get into it. 1. The trust me bro guy. The walking red flag. Ever meet someone who insists you trust them before you even ask? They lean in, lower their voice like they're about to drop the most sacred knowledge of all time, and hit you with that magic phrase, "Trust me, bro." The second I hear that, I know I'm about to get scammed, betrayed, or thrown into some dumb situation I'll regret later. And I'm not even being dramatic. The "trust me, bro" guy is the master of false confidence. He talks a big game, makes bold claims, and expects you to just blindly believe him. But here's the truth. Trust isn't something you demand. It's something you prove. And anyone who has to keep reminding you that they're trustworthy probably isn't. Because trust isn't built on words. It's built on actions. This guy is usually the same person who swears he'll pay you back, but suddenly gets amnesia when it's time to Venmo you. He promises he won't tell anyone your secret, and yet somehow everybody knows by the next day. He tells you he's got everything under control, right before everything goes completely off the rails. This person thrives on empty promises and hopes you're too naive to notice. And the worst part, when they inevitably let you down, they'll hit you with, "Dude, I had no idea that would happen." Yes, you did. I learned this lesson the hard way back in college. I had a roommate who was the walking definition of a trust me bro guy. Let's call him Mike. Mike was the kind of guy who could sell ice to an Eskimo. He had that smooth talk, that effortless charm, and a confidence that made you want to believe him. One day, he convinced me to sign a lease with him for an apartment. Trust me, bro, I got my half of the rent covered. He swore up and down he had a stable job and money coming in. I figured, hey, he's my friend. I should trust him, right? Fast forward 2 months. Guess who suddenly didn't have rent money? That's right, Mike. Turns out his stable job was flipping sneakers on eBay, and his money coming in was just him gambling on sports bets. Spoiler alert, he lost. And guess who got stuck covering rent so we wouldn't get evicted? When I confronted him, he gave me the most casual response ever. "Dude, I thought I was going to win that bet. I really believed I had it. Trust me, bro, I didn't mean for this to happen." At that moment, I realized something life-changing. People like this don't lie to you outright. They just believe their own delusions and drag you down with them. Here's the thing. Genuine people don't need to beg for trust. Their actions speak for them. Think about the people in your life you actually trust. Do they go around saying, "Trust me, bro," every 5 seconds? Number. Because they don't need to. People like Mike rely on words because they have nothing else to back them up. If someone truly deserves your trust, you'll feel it, without them needing to say a word. So the next time someone tells you, "Trust me, bro," pause. Ask yourself, has this person actually earned my trust? Do their actions match their words, or am I just about to get played? Because I'll tell you right now, the people who say "trust me" the most are usually the ones you should trust the least. 2. The "I'm just being honest" jerk. Honesty or hidden cruelty. You know this person. They walk into the room, scan you up and down like a human lie detector, and before you even say a word, they hit you with something like, "Wow, you look exhausted. Have you been sleeping at all?" Or maybe, "That outfit is interesting." Not everyone can pull off that look, and the second you react, even slightly, They throw up their hands and say, "Whoa, don't get mad. I'm just being honest." Ah, yes, the "I'm just being honest" jerk. Someone who thinks honesty is an excuse to be rude, cruel, or straight up obnoxious. But here's the truth. There's a difference between being honest and being an ass. And these people know exactly what they're doing, because their honesty isn't about being helpful, it's about control. The "I'm just being honest" jerk loves to say things that make you feel insecure and then act like you're the problem for feeling bad. They criticize people under the disguise of helping them. Spoiler alert, they don't actually want to help. They weaponize honesty to push others down while making themselves look superior. It's not about truth, it's about power. Now, don't get me wrong, I love real honesty. If I have food in my teeth, tell me. If I'm making a bad decision, call me out. But there's a difference between honest people who care about you and honest people who just enjoy making you feel like garbage. The "I'm just being honest" jerk is only ever honest when it benefits them, never when it means admitting they're wrong. I used to have a friend, let's call her Rachel, who wore brutal honesty like a badge of honor. She had this idea that if people didn't like her comments, that was their problem. One time I was stressing about a job interview and she said, "To be honest, I don't think you're confident enough to get it. You just don't have that energy, you know." That threw me off. I had been excited about the interview, but suddenly all I could hear was her voice in my head. "You're not confident enough. You don't have that energy." When I called her out, she said, "I was just being honest. Would you rather I lie to you?" That's when it hit me. She wasn't being honest to help me. She was being honest to hurt me. She wanted to be the smartest, most truthful person in the room, even if it meant crushing other people's confidence. And the kicker? She hated when people were honest with her. The second someone gave her constructive feedback, she flipped out. Because in her world, honesty was a one-way street. She could dish it out, but she couldn't take it. I cut her off. And guess what? My confidence skyrocketed. Not all honesty is good honesty. True honesty should be helpful, not harmful. Constructive, not destructive. Delivered with kindness, not cruelty. People who weaponize honesty don't deserve your trust. They use truth as a way to tear others down instead of lifting them up. So here's the lesson. If someone is only honest when it hurts you, but never when it helps you, then they're not being honest. They're just being mean. Next time someone says, "I'm just being honest," ask yourself, would they appreciate the same honesty back? If the answer is no, then they're not being truthful. They're just hiding behind honesty to avoid being called out for their own toxicity. 3. The serial screenshotter, not the human surveillance camera. Let's talk about one of the biggest snakes in the digital jungle, the serial screenshotter. You know exactly who I'm talking about. This is the person who screenshots every private conversation and hoards them like FBI case files. They send your DMs to a friend while giggling, "OMG, look what they just said." They expose people online like they're running a TMZ gossip column, but forget that they could be next. And the worst part? They don't just do it to their enemies, they do it to their friends, because they don't believe in real privacy. The serial screenshotter collects receipts like they're preparing for a courtroom battle that doesn't even exist yet. You think you're venting to a friend? Nope. Your words are already in their group chat. You think you're sending a funny message to the homies? Wrong. They're waiting for the perfect moment to use it against you. And when drama pops off, oh, they suddenly become the judge, jury, and executioner, pulling up old messages from years ago like, "Well, actually, on April 3rd, 2019, at 2:34 p.m., you said this." This isn't about keeping records, it's about power. These people thrive on leverage, the ability to turn on anyone at any time with just a few taps on their screen. I had a friend in high school, we'll call her Sarah. She was that person who always had screenshots of other people's messages. It was kind of her thing. She'd be like, "Look what he sent me," or "You won't believe what she said." And at first, I didn't think much of it. I assumed she'd never do that to me. Big mistake. One day, I was venting to her about some drama with a mutual friend. Nothing crazy, just normal frustration. But instead of just listening, she screenshotted my messages and sent them straight to that person. And how did I find out? The next day, I got a text from that mutual friend saying, "So this is how you really feel?" Attached was a screenshot of my private messages. I was speechless. I felt exposed, embarrassed, and betrayed all at once. But you know what the worst part was? Sarah didn't even feel bad. She hit me with, "I just thought they deserved to know the truth. I mean, you did say it, right?" That's when it clicked. People like her don't respect friendships. They only respect control. She wasn't trying to help anyone. She just loved playing both sides and watching the fallout. After that, I made a rule. If someone constantly shares other people's messages, assume yours are next. Here's the thing. Some conversations are meant to stay between two people. Not every text needs to be a public spectacle. Not every vent session needs an audience. If someone violates your privacy once, they will do it again. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, when it benefits them, they'll pull out those receipts like it's their trump card. So, let me say this loud and clear. If you can't speak freely with someone without worrying about them weaponizing your words, stop speaking to them. Period. And if you're reading this thinking, "Wait, I've done this before," then here's your wake-up call. Stop being the serial screenshotter, because one day you'll get caught doing it to the wrong person. And trust me, no amount of receipts will save you then. Fourth, I would never do that. The liar. Walking contradiction. You ever meet someone who swears up and down they would never do something, only to turn around and do exactly that? You call them out on their shady behavior, and they look you dead in the eye and say, "What? No way, I would never do that." Meanwhile, they've already done it twice. This person is a professional denier. They will lie to your face with so much confidence that they almost convince themselves it's true. And here's the dangerous part. They aren't just lying to you, they're lying to themselves. Their entire personality is built on fake morality. They say, "I would never betray a friend." But the second they get mad at you, they air out your secrets like a podcast episode. They claim, "I would never cheat," but their DMs are filled with innocent, flirty messages. They swear, "I would never lie," but somehow their stories never add up. This person is dangerous because they genuinely believe their own nonsense. They live in a world where intentions matter more than actions. They'll say, "I didn't mean to hurt you," as if that magically erases the damage. They'll say, "I had good intentions," as if that cancels out the fact that they did exactly what they swore they wouldn't. And the worst part? When you catch them, they flip the script and make you look crazy. "I would never lie. You must have misunderstood. I would never talk behind your back. That's not even my personality. I would never betray you. You're being dramatic." And suddenly, you're the bad guy for even questioning them. I had a best friend in high school. Let's call him Jake. We were tight, ride or die, the kind of friendship where you tell each other everything. One day I told him something personal, something I genuinely didn't want anyone else to know. He promised, "Dude, I would never tell anyone. You can trust me." 2 weeks later, I started getting weird looks from people at school. I heard whispers when I walked by. Turns out my private conversation had become public knowledge. And when I confronted Jake, he hit me with the classic, "What? No way! I would never do that." He gaslit me so hard that for a second I actually thought maybe I had told someone else by accident. But then, piece by piece, I found out the truth. Not only had he told people, but he had also twisted my words to make my situation sound worse than it actually was. And what did he say when I showed him proof? Okay, yeah, maybe I mentioned it, but I didn't mean anything by it. You're overreacting. That's when I realized something. People like this don't think they're wrong. They think you're just being too sensitive. Here's the thing. Trust isn't built on words. It's built on actions. If someone says, "I would never do that," but then does exactly that, believe their actions, not their words. People like this never take responsibility. They want to be seen as the good guy, so they lie to themselves, to you, to everyone. And if you let them, they'll keep doing it until you no longer trust your own judgment. So, here's my rule. If someone has to constantly say, "I would never do that," there's a good chance they already have, or they're about to. Watch what people do, not what they say. Because in the end, the biggest liars always swear they're the most honest. 5. The overly friendly stranger, the smiling predator. We've all encountered this type of person. You're going about your day, at a party, in a store or online, when suddenly someone you barely know starts acting like you're their long-lost best friend. They laugh at everything you say, as if you're the funniest person alive. They shower you with compliments like you're some kind of celebrity. They agree with you on everything, even when you know you're making no sense. At first it feels nice. Who doesn't enjoy a little extra kindness? But something in the back of your mind keeps whispering, "This is too much, too fast." Because here's the uncomfortable truth. No one is that friendly for no reason. And before anyone jumps in with, "What's wrong with being nice? Aren't we supposed to be kind to people?" Yes, of course. But there is a huge difference between genuine kindness and fake friendliness. Why you should never trust this person. People who rush intimacy usually have an agenda. Building a real friendship takes time. It's based on shared experiences, trust, and mutual respect, not just an instant connection fueled by over-the-top compliments and forced enthusiasm. The overly friendly stranger usually falls into one of 3 categories. 1. The manipulator. This person isn't being nice because they like you. They're buttering you up for something. Maybe they want to sell you something, recruit you into a scheme, or get close to you for their own personal benefit. Ever met someone who suddenly acts like your best friend, only to hit you with, "Hey, have you ever thought about investing in this amazing business opportunity?" That is not a friend, that is a walking sales pitch. 2. The gossip hunter. This person is only friendly because they want information and they want it fast. They pretend to be your new best friend, so you let your guard down and share personal details. Before you know it, your business is being passed around like a news headline. This type of person thrives on secrets and drama. They will act like your biggest supporter one day and then turn around and tell everyone your personal details the next. 3. The predator. This is the darkest possibility, but it's real. Some people use friendliness as a weapon. This is especially true with scammers, con artists, and in some cases, dangerous individuals. Ever had someone approach you at a bar or club and instantly start bombarding you with compliments, asking overly personal questions, and refusing to take a hint when you try to pull away? That is not kindness. That is a red flag. Ever met someone online who, after just a few conversations, is calling you their bestie or acting like you have an unbreakable bond? That is not normal. That is someone testing your boundaries. And let's not forget the classic fake helpful stranger who insists on carrying your bags, giving you a ride, or walking you home for safety. Some of them may be genuine, but others, they are looking for an opportunity. A hard lesson learned. I learned this lesson the hard way when I was younger. I was at a music festival with friends when a random guy, let's call him Danny, started talking to us. He seemed cool at first. He was extremely friendly, bought us drinks, and acted like we had known each other for years. At first I thought, wow, this guy is just really social. But then I started noticing something strange. He was doing this with everyone. He would bounce from group to group, being everyone's best friend. And the weirdest part, no one actually knew him. A couple of hours later, people started realizing their things were missing: phones, wallets, even car keys. And guess who was suddenly nowhere to be found? Danny. Turns out this guy was a professional con artist. He made people feel comfortable, gained their trust, and then robbed them blind. I got lucky. I didn't lose anything. But that night taught me a valuable lesson. The people who rush trust the fastest are usually the ones who break it the hardest. Real trust takes time. Real trust isn't built in an instant. It's built through actions, not just words. People who genuinely want to be in your life will not force their way into your circle overnight, love bomb you with extreme compliments right away, pressure you to share personal details too soon. Instead, they will give you space to get to know them, show consistency over time, respect your boundaries without question. So next time someone is a little too friendly, a little too fast, ask yourself, are they being nice or are they being strategic? Because the harsh truth is, some people aren't being friendly because they care about you. They're being friendly because they want something from you. And once they get it, they disappear. 6. The victim of their own mess. The walking disaster who blames everyone else. Have you ever met someone who always has drama in their life, but somehow it is never their fault? They always have a sad story. They always have a villain, and they always have an excuse. But if you look closely, you start to notice a pattern. Every job they get, a toxic workplace. Every friendship they lose, fake friends. Every relationship that falls apart, crazy exes. Somehow, the world is always out to get them. It is never that they made a bad decision. It is never that they treated people poorly. It is never that they caused their own problems. They are not just unlucky. They are not just misunderstood. They are the common denominator in their own disasters. And trust me, if you let this person into your life, sooner or later, you will be their next villain. Because they are masters of deflection. These people have a talent for flipping every situation so that they come out looking like the victim, even when they are the ones who caused the problem in the first place. If they get caught lying, they will say, "I only lied because I was afraid of how you'd react." If they get fired, they will say, "My boss just didn't like me." If they ruin a friendship, they will say, "I don't know why people always turn on me." They will never say, "I should have been honest." They will never say, "I need to work on myself." They will never say, "Maybe I was wrong." And if you try to hold them accountable, get ready for the guilt trip of the century. They will cry. They will play the poor me card. They will twist the story so that you feel bad, even when they are clearly in the wrong. And the worst part? They will never change, because in their mind, they don't need to. I had a friend. We will call her Lisa. Lisa had constant drama. Every week there was some new crisis. She hated her job. Her landlord was evil. Her boyfriend was toxic. Her friends were jealous. At first, I felt bad for her. I mean, what are the odds that so many people in her life were out to get her? But after a while, I started noticing something. She always talked about how people mistreated her, but never mentioned what she had done. She always had a tragic breakup, but never admitted how she contributed to it. She always complained about her terrible bosses, but somehow she got fired from every job. One day we had a falling out. And guess what happened? Suddenly, I was the villain in her story. She told people I turned on her, that I wasn't a real friend, that I abandoned her when she needed me. And when I tried to talk to her, she gave me the classic line, "I don't know why this always happens to me." That's when it hit me. This always happens to her because she never takes responsibility. She does not want solutions. She does not want growth. She wants sympathy, attention, and someone to blame. After that, I made a rule. If someone is always the victim in every story, one day they will make you the villain. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Bad things happen to good people. But if someone's life is a never-ending cycle of disasters, at some point you have to ask, are they really unlucky, or are they making bad choices? Real victims exist. Some people truly have had terrible things happen to them through no fault of their own, but the victim of their own mess. They are not one of them. This person is addicted to pity, because pity means they never have to change, and if you try to help them, you will waste your energy, because they do not want solutions. They want someone to feel sorry for them while they continue making the same mistakes over and over again. So here is my advice. Do not get caught in their storm, because when they finally crash, and they will look for someone to blame. And if you are standing too close, that someone will be you. Trust and the truth about people. At the end of the day, trust is one of the most valuable things we can give someone, but it is also one of the easiest things to misplace. The world is full of people who will say the right things, who will act like they have good intentions, who will convince you that they are on your side, right up until the moment they show you their true colors. And by the time you realize who they really are, it's usually too late. The deep truth: trust should be earned, not given freely. We live in a world where we are taught to give people the benefit of the doubt. We are told that everyone deserves a chance, and while kindness and open-mindedness are great, they should never come at the cost of your own well-being. Here's what I've learned. The people who demand trust without earning it are usually the ones who will break it the fastest. The people who love bomb you with kindness right away often have hidden motives. The people who always play the victim will eventually make you their villain. Trust is not something you hand out like free samples at a grocery store. It is something people should prove they deserve. Because once someone shows you that they cannot be trusted, the only mistake bigger than believing them the first time is believing them again. Now, I don't want this to sound like trust no one, because that is not the message. There are good people in this world, genuine, loyal, honest people. And those people do not need to convince you that they are trustworthy. They prove it through consistent actions over time. The people who truly deserve your trust show up when they say they will, admit when they are wrong, keep your secrets as if they were their own. Do not switch up the moment things stop benefiting them. And most importantly, they do not force trust, they earn it. At the end of the day, protecting your trust is protecting your energy. Every time you trust the wrong person, you are wasting time, emotions, and sometimes even opportunities that could have gone to someone who actually deserved them. So be selective, be cautious, trust slowly, observe closely, act accordingly. Because once you start recognizing who is genuine and who is just playing the game, you will stop wasting time on people who never deserved you in the first place. And that is how you truly protect yourself.